Later today, thousands of students in Montreal will be walking out of class to protest the Quebec government's decision to nearly double university tuition fees for out-of-province students. So the Quebec provincial government says it is making the move to collect more money to reduce how much money English universities get from outside the province and to discourage non-Quebecers from studying in English in the province and to funnel more money to Francophone universities. Alex O'Neill and Noah Sparrow are co-organizers of this protest. They are joining us this morning ahead of the protest for more. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Protest is set to start at 1 p.m. At least that's the last information that I had. You've been able to mobilize thousands of students and faculty at the universities in these last 11 days. Tell me why it was important to include faculty in these protests.
So I thought it was important to include faculty because they're going to be just as affected by these decisions. I mean, one of the notable things that have happened over the last couple of days was Nathan Brown, a professor at Concordia, published an open letter calling for support from faculty and students alike to come join us today at 1 p.m. at Dorchester Square. We've received a lot of positive feedback from faculty, actually, which was a very encouraging thing for our movement and cause.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just goes to show you very much that, we're all concerned with the issue of access to education, whether it's students, whether it's faculty, whether it's incoming students. It's very much a holistic cause. And I think that's also how we've been able to kind of unify as much support as we have. We actually haven't been able just to get McGill and Concordia on board, but we've actually also been able to get bishops and UQAM. And UQAM is a French university. And so it's very much on that concern of prohibiting talent from around the world to come to Quebec, use its education system and contribute to Quebec society that I think is a concern for everyone. And I think that's become very prevalent over the last few weeks.
The provincial government, the CAQ, says these hikes are not an attack on English speakers. What are your responses to that?
I mean, it may not be explicitly an attack on English speakers, but it's an attack on all of our institutions, and quite frankly, it's an attack on democracy. Students nor faculty were consulted during these decisions. We all found out about it at the same time, and quite frankly, that's a very, very strange and bizarre thing for the Quebec government to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is 0.1 of 50 of the Legault government's plan to, quote, reverse the decline of the French language in Montreal. And, it's unfortunate that they've been able to, in fact, use, in many respects, a lot of the French universities as what I called collateral damage in actually trying to, reduce this supposed decline of French. And I think that's kind of, again, realized by a lot of the French institutions that, jacking up the price of out-of-province tuition by double is just, and in the end, going to prohibit, many students from, ever, moving on in their degrees, moving on and, again, contributing to society at large.
You guys mentioned this off the top. I wanted to ask you more about it. Last week, leaders at the Francophone universities, that's the Université de Montreal, the University of Laval, the University of Sherbrooke, and a few others, they signed that open letter supporting the English schools in this protest. So you're seeing support from Francophone students and from Francophone faculty as well. Why is that important in this protest?
Well, in many respects, I think, our cause, our English cause, especially at McGill, Concordia, and Bishops, I think is very much centered on being deemed legible by the Quebec government. And for decades, that unfortunately hasn't happened just because of the dialectic that's been established between, the English and the French. So I think having the French, on board and very much framing this as a result, obviously bridging that language divide and very much framing this as an access to education issue, I think is very important.
That's all. Yeah,
well said. Hey guys, I know you have a busy day ahead of you. Your protest starts in about 5 hours from now, but lots of work to do ahead of that. We'll be watching with interest, seeing what happens. Noah and Alex, thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, as a note to this interview, we did reach out to the Quebec government for a statement, but we did not hear back in time for this interview.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.